Hey, this is Dave again from cheapwinefinder.com. And today we have another companion podcast like we do most of the time for a wine we just put on the cheapwinefinder.com website. It is a wine, lately we've been doing a lot of Trader Joe's, Costco, Aldi, store brands, contract brands. Those wines have a price advantage just because of the circumstances. They can come in several dollars cheaper than retail wines. And today we have a retail wine that is actually in the exact same price range, and it is the Fetzer Sundial Chardonnay 2018. I found it for $6.99. It was on sale. It might be a buck or two more not on sale, but it's in the same price range as the value price wines. And one of the reasons I picked this wine, because I noticed it got 88 points from Wine Spectator magazine. Wine Spectator doesn't usually give out points easily. It's a magazine aimed at restaurants, at collectors, at allocated wines. They are pretty tough on points, and most of these top end ones don't really pay that much attention to the very lower end. And to get 88 points, which is a B plus, that's a solid grade for a wine that is $7. That's kind of saying something. I was kind of intrigued by that, so I picked it up, and then I started reading about it. Fetzer. Fetzer is been around since '68. I think they're still family owned. They recently got a certified C Corp designation, which is how you get that for being sustainably managed and ethically managed. And the companies in that who also have the certified C Corp designation is Ben & Jerry's and Patagonia. I didn't expect to see a value price wine company in there. And so that kind of says something for the company. And I look at the Sundial Fetzer Chardonnay, and it's been getting very good points for a number of years now. Some smaller publications have given it in the 90s, but it's getting 88. It's getting B pluses. It's getting A minuses, and it's an inexpensive wine. So I look into it, and it's kind of an interesting wine. Often inexpensive, under $10 white wines are very simply produced. And that's not a bad thing. Crush the grapes, ferment them, give it a little bit of aging, and off they go. They're bright. They're either fruity or citrusy, and they've got good acidity, and they're fun to drink. They got great noses. They smell good. They taste good. I mean, that very simple way to do the wine is a good way. That's why, especially white wines that are inexpensive are often really good. Now, this one isn't so simply produced. They said it was fermented in stainless steel tanks, but they also mentioned French oak and American oak. They didn't mention barrels or staves or chips or anything. It was kind of confusing, but I don't care how the flavor, if they get the flavors right, especially in the inexpensive wines, because barrels can cost a lot of money. If what they were looking for, they got, and the price is right, fine. It's as long as it tastes good. I don't care how they got the flavors in there for the most part. So it's got French and American oak, and it talks about varying levels of toast. When a oak barrel for wine is produced, they put flame in the inside and they toast the inside of it. And it's called, the flame toasts the inside. There's various levels, and different flavors come at different levels. And the winemakers usually decide, I want this because they want vanilla. They want this flavor. They want that flavor. So they use French, American, and various different types of toasts to get the flavors. That's a lot of effort to get exactly what they're looking for. And this is a $7 wine. That was kind of a good sign that someone went through a lot of trouble to get what they're looking for. And also the part of the wine was just unoaked in stainless steel. And they didn't give percentages. The other part was some sort of oak aging. They didn't specify, and kind of a complicated oak regiment. And the part where the oak also got malolactic fermentation. And malolactic fermentation happens in red wine all the time. And it happens in Chardonnay. There's only a few white wines that it occurs in. And what it is that the naturally occurring mallow acid gets changed into lactic acid. Lactic is like lactose. It's milky. It gives it a rounded flavor, and it goes well with the oak flavorings. So this is kind of a little bit of a complicated, inexpensive Chardonnay. It's kind of on the light side of medium. I'm going to take a taste. I mean, it's really well balanced. The acidity is right where it's right in the sweet spot. It's not too much. It's not too little. Less of flavors unfold. It's got melon. It's got apple. It's got lemon. It's peach and pear. A little bit of even pineapple, not sweet pineapple, almost like dried pineapple. Yeah, a little tropical. It's kind of nice. Nothing stands out. It's all kind of smooth and integrated, which is a sign of a good wine. And I'm saying some things about a wine that you normally say about wines that cost more than what this costs. I mean, which is probably why I got 88 points. It's a really good effort for a wine. It tastes good, medium bodied. It kind of flows. I mean, it's, I always kind of like wines that have lip smacking acidity. That kind of is almost a little bit too much. It's on the, it's not actually too much, but it's on the plus side of acidity. And I kind of like that in a wine, certain wines, but this one doesn't need it. I don't need any additional prodding to get me to grab another sip from the glass. So that's good. What else about this wine? Oh, when you see California on the label, Fetzer is from Mendocino, but the label says California for the grapes. There are three main areas that grow grapes, and it's the Central Coast, and inside the Central Coast is Santa Barbara and Paso Robles and Monterey and a whole bunch of other smaller AVAs, and then the North Coast is Napa, Sonoma, Mendocino, Lake County, and something else. I'm probably missing something. And then there is the Central Valley, and that's mostly Clarksburg. I think Clarksburg's there, and Lodi. There's a couple other ones in there, but those are the ones where most of the grapes are grown. And if some of the grapes come from the North Coast and some of the grapes come from the Central Coast, well, then you're going to see California label. Or if some of them comes from Lodi and some comes from the Central Coast, you'll see California. It's when they have when they split the three major AVAs, that's when California shows up in the label. If it's from Monterey and Paso Robles, then it'll probably say Central Coast on the label. So that's what California means. And so that's that. So you get this as a California wine, but since Fetzer is such sustainably grown and have the supply chain is all ethical and everything else too, it's got to be pretty good vineyards. I mean, you can't get that rating while just taking grapes from anywhere and anybody. So this is a very nice effort. It doesn't cost a lot. It seems to have been a nice effort for a number of years. Where have you been? I haven't noticed you before. I would have wrote about you years ago. It's a nice Chardonnay. If you like a little bit of oak, but not too much, because there's that butter, there's that vanilla. It's got the rounded flavors. It's got the little salty thing going on, which might be Anlise. I don't know. And it's got a flavor, and it doesn't cost much money. It's a lighter body wine, but it's still got flavor. It's still got decent acidity. It's got a good finish. What else can you ask for? So that's it for me. We still have more holiday wines coming up, things coming up for Thanksgiving, and then party wines and New Year's things and Christmas and what have you. But that's in the future. So I'll be talking to you in a couple of days. And that's it for me. Keep it cheap. Adios and bye-bye.